Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today. Thank you for taking a moment. If you want to follow along, we will be in the book of Genesis, chapter 29, beginning in verse number 21. And if you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then we will jump right in. I'm not going to read, we're going to cover about 10 verses here, so I'm not going to read them all for time because this is a doozy. We're about to jump into a really interesting story. Jacob comes to Laban and says, all right, I've done my 7 years. I am ready to marry my wife. I'm ready to marry Rachel. And again, he's done his labor. He's worked all these years. And again, he's ready to get married. And so he expects he's done what he said he would do. He expects Laban to do what he promised to do. And so the wedding date is set. The wedding, the big celebration, ceremony, feast, everything is going on. Laban throws a big party in honor of the couple, as the custom would have been. It would have been a week-long festival, in fact, that family, friends, everybody would have came to at the end of the week. The marriage is consummated. They have their honeymoon, and all seems well. The only problem is Jacob doesn't realize until the next morning that Laban has played a joke. I don't know if you call it a joke or not. He has tricked Jacob. In Rachel's place, he has slipped Rachel's sister Leah. Again, the veil over her face, it would have been dark. They're sisters. They probably sounded alike, roughly probably the same size, all those kinds of things, and probably put her in some of Rachel's clothes and perfume, and probably just wasn't that difficult a thing to pull off. But why would Laban do that? Well, a couple things. Laban, first of all, we're going to see eventually he's going to end up getting 7 more years of work out of Jacob. And so if Jacob already gave 7, surely he'll give me 7 more. And then also this way, Leah gets a husband. Now, let me just go ahead and go. We went down this road a couple times in Genesis. Because people married more than one wife does not mean God approves of that. God doesn't approve of a lot of things man gets himself involved in. This is not God's plan. God's plan, as seen from the beginning of the book of Genesis, is one man and one woman. It's amazing how people can take and ignore the story of Adam and Eve, one man and one woman, and want to build their theology around Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, and other stories where men do have more than one wife, because there's stories of adultery, there's stories of rape in the Bible. That doesn't make them right. That means God's giving us an account of what went on. And so he has that issue. Now, when Jacob realizes what has happened, he is livid. He runs to Laban. He is he's ready to fight. As probably most anybody would be. I worked for you. I've honored my agreement. Why did you trick me? And basically, Jacob says, or Laban tells him, "What goes around comes around." It's not typical, not normal, to give the younger daughter to let her get married before the older sister does. And so he kind of hints here, says, I kind of know what you have done in the past. It's not so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. And so that's just kind of a little jab at Jacob for the whole situation with him and Esau of what Jacob had done. And, if there's a lesson in this passage for us, that may be it. Again, what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. Can't throw out the fact that Leah had some guilt in this. She knew what she was doing. She could have warned Jacob. So she's guilty. Don't know why she went along, other than, again, part of it would have been the culture of the time. You didn't disobey your father, and who knows? Maybe she liked Jacob anyway. Maybe she didn't think she had a chance of getting married any other way. And so Laban comes up with a plan in all this. He says, "Hey, just work for me another 7 years, just give me another 7 years' work, and then I'll give you Rachel." And so he's livid, but he doesn't know what else to do. He really doesn't have a choice. And so Jacob accepts the offer. And plans on, he is going to agree to this 7 more years of labor, and Laban gives Rachel to Jacob as his wife. As I thought about this passage, I always try to give you a lesson. What do we learn from this passage? One of them is just play nice. I guess be careful. Again, you reap what you sow, and Jacob certainly does here, and he's going to again to reap what he has sown in his past, and it comes home to haunt him. But this just kind of lays the groundwork for some of the things that are coming up in the soap opera that is the life of Jacob. That's just, again, can't really make much of a lesson, give you a point to hang on to from that. Just file that information away, because again, we will be referring back to that as we move along in the story of Jacob. All right, have a great day. We'll see you here Monday morning.